Greetings. Today I'm going to talk about blogging. It seems like at least once a week I come across some kind of article that talks about the death of blogging. And usually it's written by someone who has decided that it's time for them to give up blogging and go do something else. Uh, and it's funny because I think that I'm probably one of those people who at some point in my life, I'm going to decide it's time to stop blogging. But I'm not going to say it's the death of blogging. I'm going to say, you know what, it's time for me to stop. And I don't know when that day is going to be because at the end of next week, I will have been blogging on my business blog for 14 years. And I'm trying to decide what theme I'm going to write about because usually on my anniversary on my business blog, I pick a certain theme and I write however many points it is. So since it'll be my 14th year, it's going to be 14 points about blank. Haven't decided yet, but I'm going to do it. I might link to it here, although most probably I'll link to it on my other channel because it's going to be related to my business. But I am doing something that is a little interesting. I actually wrote about it last week on my blog, and that is that I'm going to be shutting down 2 of my other blogs. The reason I'm doing that is because I have 5 blogs. It's a monster trying to keep up 5 blogs. And the truth of the matter is, if I was making money off of all my blogs, then I would try to figure out a way to keep doing it because it would be generating money. And I don't mean making like $5 or $10 a week or anything like that. I mean true income. For instance, one of the blogs I'm shutting down, years ago, I was making $500 a month off that blog. That was actually pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. You know what? If you can make $6,000 a year off of a blog and still do other stuff, you know what? That's not a bad start. Another blog I'm going to be shutting down, I was making somewhere around $350 to $400. The thing is, I wasn't making, that's a month. I wasn't making all of that at the same time. At one point, one of the blogs was doing really well, and I was making money off of that through advertising, and some people who wanted to pay me to write, guest posts or sponsored posts. And my other site, I was making most of my money by, of all things, AdSense. I don't know why, but it generated a ton. Probably because it was on healthcare, and if anyone clicked on the stuff, I made a lot more money, and info links. So I was making, pretty good money off of those. But it has dried up. The reason it's dried up is one of those reasons that I tell people all the time, which is if you try to define a niche so finitely that suddenly you just don't really want to write about it anymore, then you're going to start failing. For instance, my business blog is on leadership and diversity, and I always have something to write about that. I talk about healthcare, finance, because it's what I do, so I can write about that. Well, one of the blogs I'm shutting down is on finance itself, just pure financial stuff. And when I first bought the blog from someone else, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I would read about the news. I would write about the news. I had commentary. I would do research, and I would put different things up there, and it was fun. And a lot of people wanted to advertise on that thing. But you know what? I started traveling. I hated editing all these people's articles that were horrible, and it just got to be too much. And every once in a while, I still want to write a financial article, but these days, I want to put it somewhere else. So I'm going to be shutting both of those blogs down. That does not mean blogging is dying. I've got a lot of content on those sites that is still good for other people. I'm probably going to write like one last little thing, letting folks know you ain't going to see anything new on here anymore. And I'm going to move on with my other 3 blogs. I'm still going to have 3 blogs. There are millions of blogs out there, but there's also millions of blogs where people have just decided to stop writing, but they haven't said anything about it. I'm going to say something about it because I just want to do it. Hopefully, who knows? Someone might even write me and say, hey, I'd like to buy your blog if I can have some of that content that's still on there. We shall see. But blogging is not going to die. And so I'm going to still recommend that if you're thinking about maybe doing a blog, you should try it. Maybe you don't want to pay for it initially. Maybe you go to Blogspot or you go to WordPress.com, or I don't even know who else is out there. But maybe you go to one of those sites and you give it a shot. The same recommendation I'm giving you right now is the recommendation I've been giving to people for years when it comes to blogging, which is to sit down and write 10 articles. If you can't write 10 articles, and take your time, but if you can't write 10 articles, don't blog. I'm just telling you right now. Don't pick a niche that you can't write anything on, but if you can't write 10 articles, don't even bother. But if you can write 10 articles, now you have 10 articles, you can put them out there, you can predate them so that they're spaced out, so you're not putting them all out on one day, because if you put out 10 articles on one day, Google's going to expect you to do that every day, and you ain't going to be able to keep that up. Almost no one, not one person can keep it up. If there's 10 of you who are writing an article a day, maybe. If it's just one of you, ain't gonna happen. Still, I think that blogging is one of those kind of things that if you have a business, it's going to enhance it. Now, that's my take on it today. I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you have a blog? You know what? If you have a blog, leave me a link. I'd like to see your blog. I would like to visit and read your words, because I'm just like that. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and just think about the concept of blogging. Talk to you later.